Coach Sadio from DRS Athletics, and I'm bringing you Tuesdays 3/30, 2021 demos. And if you guys were wondering what I'm holding, this is a cum squat. Thank you, Annie, for bringing those. Vitamin C and all. All right, guys, I'm gonna bring you, excuse me, this is so rude, I'm sorry. So rude. I'm gonna bring you overhead squats and power snatches demos. And I'm gonna be showing you a few little things that could help you like and eventually love these movements as much as I do now, but they were not my favorite back in the day. Why? Because it tested so many things. It tested flexibility, strength, mobility, and it's just, the position here, I don't know where it's at, right? You can't feel it on your body. You can only feel it on your overhead position, and you don't know if it's behind your neck, on top of your neck, on top of your head. So I'm gonna give you a few little tips to feel better on those two movements. And also, kettlebell swings. We do quite a bit of those, but there's a beauty to it. So let's talk about them. All right, guys, if you bear with me, I'm gonna go over grip for the power snatches and snatches. It should be the same as your overhead position so that you get strong at those positions. You don't wanna be changing back and forth where you put your hands. Then I'm gonna go over the feet position that I have done in the past, and coaches have done that in the past, but it's a good reminder. And then I'm gonna put it all together, so hopefully you're with me until then. First thing, grip. This is a PVC pipe, but you see this knurl right here? These markings are the same markings that you will see on the barbell. So if you find this outside here, this is usually the outside knurl on the barbells. There's two of them, usually the powerlifting and the weightlifting. Find the outside one, and unless you have really short arms, you should be outside of that. I have quite a bit of long arms, so I usually go about an inch out, and you shouldn't be all the way to where you're touching the collars of the barbell, right? So it should be where I'm on the hip crease here. That's my snatch grip, where I should bend, and that's the hip crease. Or if I'm going overhead, is about a shaka bra, overhead. Anything closer becomes a close grip press, and it should be on a snatch grip. Hook grip. Let's talk about hook grip. We are here. We put in our thumb over, and then the first two go over the thumb. This allows really good technical grip, bringing yourself into the body instead of away from the body, or on your fingertips, or just really choking the bar. This allows really great turnover. Now, this is for cleans and for snatches. Now when we press overhead, or when we cycle. All right, power snatch and overhead squat. By my shins, into my hips, catch straight, be powerful, stand it up, reset, big breath in, lower all the way down, stay tall, drive it up, reset. One more time. Boom. Take your time. Slow and controlled. Boom, drive it up, bring it back down. Stacked. So my quarter squat right here, right, I should be right on top of my head, a little behind my head, but not in front of me. And I should be stacked. When I say stacked, guys, or any of the coaches, because this is not something I made up, but we do utilize the stacked position like in gymnastics. This is a gymnastics term, and also in weightlifting, right? So stacked means you're stacking your bones and your joints in the most straighter way possible so that you are the strongest as you can. Think about if you were to be holding something overhead, and it's not in a stacked position, it's kind of forward, it's breaking here, it's breaking here, it's breaking here. It's gonna put a lot of pressure and stress in different joints, compared if I was very stacked here. Now I'm in a one line position, and now you can actually push into it, right? And it would be the strongest position compared to here. Try to push somebody like this compared to, ooh, okay, right? When you're pushing on against the door or something like that, okay? So stack position overhead. Now let's talk about feet. Okay, we start with our feet under our hips. And when we land, which is a power position or a squat position or an overhead squat, we land in a squat stance. This squat stance could be a little varying compared to who you are and what is going to be helpful for you. But I like to be here, which is outside of my hips, outside of my shoulders. For some of you guys, might have to be a little wider, but anything wider than that becomes too wide where I cannot squat all the way down. It becomes more of a sumo stance. So, squat stance, starting position, squat stance, landing, finishing position, every time. And this should match my power in my squat snatch and my overhead squat in any squat that I'm doing, unless it is a sumo squat. I reset here and I take a big breath. And it's not a chest breath. I tell this to my weightlifters all the time. This is not a chest, pigeon chest, where you're like, you inflate here, because then now look how loose this is. Okay, I breathe in and it's a belly breath. Like if someone's tickling you or if someone's gonna poke you or punch you, you squeeze and you tighten, but you don't do this. You just go tight, tight, tight. So when I take the breath here, right, before I go down, take the breath, tight, push my shoulders the entire time as I go down into my squat. You're pressing with your arms, you're descending with your legs. And that's what's gonna get you the best stability on this bar. Because we see a lot of this, we're nice and tight and we're getting into our squat here, and then we start to see this. And look what happens, there's no pressure on that barbell. That barbell should be pushed up the whole entire time. So one power snatch, one overhead squat, and regardless how long it takes you to set up, you take that time that you need to have a really, really good position. This is all about being technical, being patient. Overhead squatting is a great tool. If you can overhead squat, you will accomplish a lot of things because it puts you in positions that we never were put in, maybe in a lot of our time or in our sports career or anything like that. So be patient and own the fact that this is supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be easy. Snatches are not supposed to be easy, but they will become easier every time. And for some of you guys, will become easier than others. So be patient, take your time. Don't load up the bar when you are not moving well, because you're only getting good at moving bad, and that's not what we want, right? Let's go. If you're still with me, kettlebell swings. We've done this a lot, so I'm gonna go over very few things that really match into what we're doing with our overhead squat. Our last position when we have the kettlebell on top is stacked. The way we talked about being stacked here is gonna be stacked here, and having my whole body be one instead of here, right? It's one candlestick, hollow position. Having everything gathered is gonna be huge. So when I bring it into my hip, I am already setting myself up for success by having my back set instead of trying to have my back set at the top of the movement. That is a huge, huge component of great kettlebell swings, right? So it's always gonna start in front of me because I have to bring it into my hip. I'm gonna show you more of a close-up, okay? Set your midline now. Set your back. Shoulders back, hips are back. My back is already set. I'm not picking it up like this. I'm not reaching over like this. My back is nice and set. Shoulders are back. Everything's stacked. This is my money maker right here. If I lose it, I lose, right? So check it out. From here, into my hips. And right now this is a Russian, right? Hips, eye level, it's a Russian. Now when I want to go overhead, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm not going to overextend. I'm just going to get to that Russian kettlebell swing and continue punching to that stacked overhead position. So in, let's go overhead, full stack, everything's tight. I wait for it, Bring close, wait for it, drive it up. So every time I'm in this position, this is my hand, I'm in this back position, I'm nice and tight, I am not going to be going forward or folding with my shoulders rolled in. I want to be nice and open and fully extend my hips. So at the top of the movement, I'm in the most neutral position here, not forward, not back. And that, my friend, is your backbone, your spine. Aim to move the best we can, and remember your back moves as one. It moves as one like this, it moves as one like that. Just like in a push-up position, it goes down and up. This is the same thing, down and up. Same as your squat, down and up, or down and up, depends on how your hips move. One unit, shoulder and hip is one unit. Let's do it, let's go!